thinking it's
I think she'll be fine.
All right, guys. A-Rod will go first today.
having a mustache. Having a mustache.
I need to shave the rest of my face. I just realized I haven't shaved today. For a couple days, I guess. Hope I don't get in trouble.
We won't tell him.
We're talking about getting people in trouble? I walked late and late. Okay.
I won't say anything.
You said earlier this week, A-Rod, that Texas might have the best D-line you've seen in your quarter-century coaching. Why is that, you think?
They're just really big and athletic, and they play with great technique. They play really hard, and they're deep. They're too deep at every position. This is one of the best D-lines I've ever coached against.
Do you feel like you got the speed and athleticism to match up with this team on offense?
It's going to be a challenge for sure. Yeah, we're gonna have to execute at a high level to have a chance to win.
Do you feel like the offense took a step against Tech, and do you feel like there's another step to be taken?
Yeah, we got better in some ways. I thought our run game, especially, I was really proud of the way we were able to run 5.5 minutes off the clock at the end of the game. We haven't been able to do that this year. You know, we burned 5.5 minutes off the clock. You know, and got a couple first downs. I think it was 9-10 play drive, and you know, that was like a highlight for me, because we've been in that situation a few other times this year and ended up having to give the ball back to the team and let our defense finish it for us. And so thought we made some progress, and you know, we got a lot of work to do.
Do you feel like you found the starting five on the offensive line that you're going to stick with for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that group played their best game as a group. Still have a couple guys banged up, so it's like kind of week to week which lineup we'll have. But I was proud of how those guys played. I thought especially Paul and Waylon had their best game of the year, those two guys.
How big of an impact can Aiden Robbins make now that he's actually healthy?
Apparently a good one. I thought he played well in the game. He gave us a spark. He did some things in that game that were sort of what we expected, what we saw him do at UNLV. You know, it was just a taste, you know, but we're looking forward to him, you know, having an impact on the rest of our season.
Are you expecting Kibo this week to be able to play?
Hoping for him. Hoping. It's day to day.
So it's game time decision then?
Yes.
I think you redshirted during his senior year, but what do you remember about a certain strong-arm quarterback from El Camino back in 1996?
Sark, he treated me really well from the day I got here. I was a junior college transfer like he was, 1 year behind him. And he, right when I got here, he treated me well, you know, was a good friend right from the start, included me in all the things that the guys did together, you know, even though I was the new guy. And, you know, we've been friends ever since, and have a lot of respect for him.
You maintain that relationship over the years?
Yeah, we stay in touch. You know, we're not like talking every week or anything like that, but we talk a few times a year, and yeah, we're still friends.
It seems like the kind of guys where relationships are really important. Is that a fair assessment?
I can't answer that for him, but I think so. I mean, we've stayed in touch for a long time. I know he stays in touch with Kalani. So yeah, he was a really good player, and I'm not surprised that he's such a good coach.
Isaac Rex has got a lot of snaps. In fact, we haven't seen a lot of the other tight ends. Why is that? Is that just because you need him on the field?
He's just playing. He's just doing a good job. You know, he's doing a good job for us, and he's such a veteran. You know, he knows the offense so well. And in a season where we've had some inconsistency with our execution, you know, you want reliable people out there. And so the main reason is just how reliable he is.
How big of an emphasis will it be, or how important will it be to sustain drives? You go in there, it's probably going to be hot.
Yeah.
They've got a pretty prolific offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's critical. Staying on the field is something that we need to do better. And it's a good defense, you know, so it's going to be a challenge. But we think we have a good game plan, and we're going to go compete. And you know, I think if we can get some first downs and give ourselves a chance to score some points, we'll be in it.
I wanted to ask a philosophy question. You were talking about how proud you were of being able to burn that time off the clock. If you're up, 10, 14 like you were, when do you go for the jugular and try and put it away with another score versus when do you try and run the clock? What's kind of the philosophy there?
Well, we were still trying to score. We weren't, but we were and we still want to score. But we don't want to put the ball in jeopardy. So we're not going to be reckless, throwing it around the park. You're going to run it. Everyone in the stadium knows you're going to run it, and we were able to get a few first downs and left and up 2 scores, and they had no timeouts. So, but yeah, it wasn't that we weren't trying to score. It was just that we want to do it a certain way.
In your 24 years, have you seen it a lot? Or?
I mean, there's a lot of teams that steal signs. Now, I don't know of any teams that are doing it illegally. It's legal to do it if you can figure out the other team's signals in the course of the game. That's legal, and there are a lot of teams who are devoting manpower to it. Teams that study your TV copies, and try to pick up if they can find a few signals from the TV broadcast, and there's people that are in the booth or on the sidelines looking at your signals and trying to crack your code, and that's a pretty common thing in college football, and we go to great lengths to not get hacked, So, yeah, but it's part of the game, and we just have to deal with it.
Would you be interested in going to the communication devices that others use, or is that complicated in another way?
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I think I would love to try it. Yeah.
How unique is it? How unique is it to have a punt team that has caused 4 turnovers in 7 games?
It's great. Any turnover we can get is great. I mean, gets us extra possessions, and and then if we take care of the ball, then it's tough to. It's almost impossible to lose when you have 5-0 turnover margin.
You don't have 26 years ago today. You 2 receptions, 22 yards, and 2 TDs.
TCU?
TCU. I saw that earlier.
That was today.
Yeah. Pretty efficient, right?
My career was all downhill from there.
Hey, Keaton.
What's up?
You happy, man? The Diamondbacks won?
Very happy. Big day for Arizona yesterday. One of the, I think he's a QC analyst, Tyson McDaniels from Arizona. So we were watching the game last night in the coach's office, and the Suns won after. So big day for Arizonans everywhere. It was fun.
What do you see from Texas's defense? What have you guys kind of been working on this week to combat what is a really good defense?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that stands out is just their defensive line. They're really good. They get home, maybe they're just rushing 4. They don't need an exotic blitz to get penetration and do good things. So, again, I think that's, it gives us a great challenge, great opportunity, one of the better D-lines, if not the best D-line we faced all year. So, yeah, excited to go against them, but really talented group for sure.
Getting the ball out quick a priority this week?
At times, we still got to do what we do, and, we can't, just, abandon our, other stuff. But, I think that is, understanding when to, take what they can give you and, be smart with the ball and hopefully find some easy completions too. That's always something in the game plan.
Saw a few more empty sets this last week. Maybe it was just me, but how did you feel you fared in the empty sets, and do you like those empty sets in the offense?
No, I always like the empty sets. I like the concepts we're on with it. And again, as a quarterback, anytime you can spread them out and throw the ball around, it's sweet. And honestly, I need to do a better job of running the QB draws. Earlier in the season, I screwed some of those up with Rod. So got to get back in his graces. Hopefully it allows us to be an empty more if we can get that going, and I can make better decisions. So
is there some kind of reminiscence of when you were playing at USC?
Yeah, a little bit. At USC there was a few times we didn't have any running backs healthy, so we had to go kind of 5 wide, and again, that was really fun. But the good thing is too, I think we have some guys who can pass, catch the ball as running backs, and it's a nice switch up. It's not like we're forced to do it either, which is sweet.
As a QB,
how much does having Aiden back healthy kind of help you as the quarterback?
Yeah, it helps a lot. Aiden's such a big physical back. He really understands the pass pro game, and he does a great job in pass pro. And also, it's given the other backs to be able to step in and do what they do best. Get Aiden doing what he does best in certain runs and certain pass pros and certain plays. Allows everyone to kind of play to their strengths when Aiden's back. That way we have a breadth of talent in the RB room.
As a QB, the challenge between trying to wait and see if something develops versus moving on to the next progression, how do you handle that? Because sometimes it's like, oh, I think that guy's coming. Sometimes it's like, well, I should check it down or go to my next read. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes pre-snap or with the coverage, you like a shot, maybe guy doesn't win or maybe it doesn't turn out how you want it to, and as a quarterback you have to be good moving off of that. But also, it's tough too because usually you get that coverage, you want to take that shot. And there are certain times on tape where I think I could do a better job of, even if I don't move on as fast, just go scramble and try to make a play out of it, And that's something we worked on this week, and we talked about. It's tough too. Sometimes you're trying to execute the play perfectly, but football is like an imperfect game. And as a quarterback, you have to make those plays that don't work out perfectly, positive plays for an offense.
And along that line, the eye control. How do you balance that element of it, trying to look guys off and look safeties off, because that seems like an added element when you're already trying to do so much.
Yeah, it's not as like complicated as I think other people make it seem. If you have a man player, you have to be conscious of the man player, and look him off. Or sometimes I've been playing college football for a bit. There's certain routes and stuff where naturally I'll just look the other direction to try to hold a backer or manipulate him a little bit. But it's not like I have to do it on every play, and I'm something I have to think about. It's kind of, I hope at this point, it's something that's kind of ingrained. Like, hey, I've made a mistake before staring down this guy, and makes that guy's job easier. So if I can look him off or hold him, it kind of becomes part of my footwork almost, of like, hey, look him off and come back.
Going into play a blue blood like Texas, personally, how big is it for you with your aspirations to play at the next level to show really well against them?
Yeah, and it's a really good conference. So, I feel like every week it's a great challenge to go play a lot of teams. But obviously, Tech's such a great program. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's always fun to go play in those games. I know the guys, always excited and extra fired up for every game. But there's something really cool about going to play in front of 100,000 people. Again, at a blue blood school. It's a really tough challenge, but I think that's what excites everyone too.
Do you feel like the team's been kind of loose this week? You guys are on the outside viewed as a big underdog. You guys just kind of going in with the mindset, everything to gain in this one?
Yeah, I think that's kind of how we need to be more so. More often going into games and stuff. This team, when we're loose and having fun and playing free, we play at our best. When we're uptight and kind of worried about making mistakes and stuff, that's when we're not playing our best. So I think, when we played our best football, it's kind of how we've been. I think as leaders, we've kind of recognized that that's who we need to be week in, week out. And especially this week, obviously being underdogs, that's obviously a fun, easy, like a better mentality to have, going forward.
The quarterback world's kind of a small community, I'd imagine. Have you ever crossed paths with Malik Murphy or Ewers or Arch Manning at all?
I talked to Arch at the Manning camp last year for a second, just congratulating him on his commitment. I'm sure I ran into Quinn. I don't remember. I think it was a camp a long time ago, but not like a ton. Not like, and I know Malik's quarterback coach pretty well, and I've seen him around, and I think we're familiar with each other to an extent, but not like best friends or anything. But maybe he'll get to that point after the game. We'll see.
Do you feel like the identity of this offense has always been about explosive plays and having a ground attack? Do you feel like you guys have the personnel to be able to match up against the athleticism of Texas? Yeah,
again, it's really tough. They're a really good, talented team. But again, there's a reason I'm here. I believe in the guys that we have in the room and in the building. I think we have really good players. And again, they have really good players too. We have to elevate our talent and play really well. But, if we execute what we can do, it gives us a chance.
What does a healthy Cody Epps mean to this team, and what's it meant the last couple of weeks? It feels like on Saturday he was as healthy as he's ever been all year. What does that kind of bring to the team?
Yeah,
Elder Epps back?
Yeah, it's awesome having Cody back. First just getting him back in the room and healthy and having a rotation of guys. Felt with Kibo out and Chase a little limited. It felt like at times we need extra bodies and we're low on depth. It's nice to have bodies, and then also just a guy who's been in the offense for so long, who knows what to do, has innate ability in certain routes and concepts. He's run them 1,000 times, so it's really comfortable. Certain blocks and stuff. It's like, hey, Cody's run that 100 times. Feel really confident. Rod's saying I feel confident putting in that position. So as a quarterback, it's always awesome to have those guys who have been in the offense for a while to kind of step up and fulfill their role.
For how entrenched you've been in this offense since you arrived in January, has Roderick maybe given you the autonomy to call out a plays and kind of call your own thing if you see something different than maybe what he's seeing up in the booth?
Yeah, we always talk on the sideline stuff. I honestly, as a quarterback, I kind of like letting them control, what they like to see. Like, they see it better than me a lot of times, in the booth. It's a lot easier, and they have the whole sheet in front of them. But, there's times where, it's really with Fessy on the sideline, we're talking about, hey, I feel this, we can run this. And honestly, more so probably during the week of, certain plays that I see or I've run before is that, hey, we can run this, or, it's kind of variation of what we have. This would be a good, supplement to that. So there's a lot of communication. He's a really good play caller, so I kind of like to let him do his own thing. But, yeah, there's a lot of communication, and, sometimes I'll throw out ideas for sure.
You've seen quite a bit of shuffling in front of you along the offensive line. How do you feel like they've gelled and come along so far?
They've done a good job. It's tough. They're moving a lot, probably more than I've been around. But it's everyone steps into their role, and it gets everyone kind of playing to their strengths, I think, too. And again, guys coming fresh, and again, they're a pretty tight-knit group, and that's the thing I'm really proud of. Like, it's tough when you have that multitude of guys coming in and trying to build cohesion with it. But I feel like with having those guys together, there's a lot of selflessness, and they work really well together.
Has there been a lot of instances where you've had to check out of plays this year, or not really?
Yeah, there's a lot of and like a lot of stuff's built in. Rod calls it like this is the play, then there's a check out of it to this play, maybe a kill to a run. There's a good amount of that stuff. It's not every play, but it's definitely part of our offense on certain plays to get versus the best look. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Does he do NFL style where he sends in 2 calls essentially?
Kind of, yeah.
All right, fair enough. Thanks, Keith. It's not as like super. Well, I was gonna say the NFL, it's 2 full calls. Yeah. Last year's